Hello there, my name's Dan, and fittingly perhaps, since I'm going to talk about The Cure, I'm talking to you looking like the undead at 3:23 a.m. in Bangkok. So that's quite Cure-like, isn't it, keeping these sort of hours? Anyway, well, it's quite Robert Smith-like anyway, from what I gather in a recent interview. So if you're any kind of a Cure fan, you will have heard Songs of a Lost World by now, and hopefully concluded, like me, that it's a very, 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 very good album. I'm going to say top five, possibly top three or four. For me, it's their best album since Wish, which was the last album of theirs I really enjoyed. Some people are saying it's the best album since Disintegration. Could well be. I saw someone say the best album since Blood Flowers. For me, it's way better than Blood Flowers. Anyway, it's a great album. And listening to it for maybe the seventh or eighth time just now, I I noticed that certain of the tracks remind me of other tracks that I've known and loved. For example, the song "Nothing Is Forever" reminded me of a song called "Faded" by a group, the Afghan Wigs, WHIGS, a band that started out on Sub Pop. But they don't sound like Nirvana or those other groups. There's a bit more of a sort of soulful influence in their sound. And they have a lot of lush orchestration, violins and horns, and they're really great. And they had a classic three-run album in the 90s, Gentleman, Black Love, on which the song Faded that I just mentioned is, and 1965. Anyway, please go check out the Afghan Wigs, the album Black Love, and also the albums Gentleman and 1965. I'm always trying to get people into this group. If I could convert one person, I'd be so happy all my hair might grow back. Okay, the second song that came to mind, or the second other group, was New Model Army. New Model Army, who you might well listen to if you're a Cure fan. I think they had a similar thing of fans probably dressing in black quite a lot, and the story goes their fans would wear clogs. I don't know how true that is. Anyway, their album I've listened to the most is probably The Love of Hopeless Causes, which isn't renowned to be their best album, but it's the one I've listened to most. Like Wish is the Cure album I've listened to most because it was the first CD I ever bought. Not the first record, but the first CD. So, the Cure song War Sound, the bass and the big booming crashing drums on that sort of remind me of the vibe of this album, The Love of Hopeless Causes by New Model Army. And then the song End Song, and generally the lyrical themes of loss and regret, and reminded me of some songs from the album Everyone Is Here by Finn Brothers. Tim and Neil Finn. You may know Neil Finn's work from when he was in Crowded House, and he's made some albums with his brother Tim, who was in Split Ends. A couple of guys from New Zealand, though I think Australia tried to claim them. Anyway, you might think of songs like Weather with You when you hear of Neil Finn. But this album's a little darker than that, the album Everyone Is Here. And some of the themes on it sort of remind me of what Robert Smith's talking about. Robert Smith made this album, Songs of a Lost World, or he wrote some of the songs after losing various people, I gather. His brother, various other people. And on Disembodied Voices by Finn Brothers, on their album Everyone Is Here, it's got these lyrics. Talking with my brother when the lights went out, down the hallway 40 years ago, and what became much harder was so easy then, opening up and letting go. So I won't read on, I could do. He's sort of regretting a relationship, sort of easy relationship that he had then with his brother. And ruining the passing of time and things becoming more complicated. And that, I think that ties in with the sort of themes you're going to hear on a Cure album, and this latest one in particular. And it's about his brother. And there's another song called Edible Flowers, where Neil Finn and Tim Finn, I think it's Neil Finn singing about the loss of their mother, Mary. And it's a bleak song, I'm not going to lie, but I listened to it a lot after I lost my own mum, and it's one of those albums that's got me through, really. I don't listen to it so much now, but I really did back in the day, and along with Wish by The Cure and various other albums, it really has pulled me out of a few dark places. So, yeah, just to say, you could try listening to the Afghan Wigs, New Model Army, if you haven't, and this album, Everyone Is Here, by Finn Brothers, and Finn Brothers generally, and Neil and Tim Finn and everything they do. And let me know, get back to me if any of that tickled your fancy. And also, where do you rate Wish in The Cure's discography? Because I think it's great. For me, it's got everything. It's got jangly pop songs like Friday I'm in Love, which die-hard Cure fans, hardcore fans I know don't much care for. But I think it's a great song. I think Mint Song is a really naff song. That song, Mint Song. I tried again listening to the album it's on. I can't even remember the name. I don't like the albums post Wish until the latest one. But I think Friday I'm in Love's a great song. And then you've got songs with beautiful chiming guitar like Elise, and you've got Melancholia, you've got beautiful orchestration, you've got dirges, which I like a good Cure dirge, like the opening song on Wish. How do you rate Wish? Do you find it overrated? Is it in your top 5 Cure albums? Top 10? Where do you put it? Um, anyway, yeah, I've been talking for 6 minutes. I'd be amazed if anyone watches this far, but I thought uh, among the deluge of videos people are making about The Cure's latest album, you'd want one from a guy who looks like Uncle Fester slash Shrek's pink cousin, and you'd want that to be made at 3:30 a.m. because your man Robert Smith is a nocturnal creature, and yes, many of us are creatures of the night, and that's all I got. Signing off, Dan in Bangkok. Cheers.